Hi everyone, this is Danilo Ree, and I'm teaching English language learner strategies for mathematics, and particularly in geometry. Right now, at the end of the year, we're working on the area of surface area volume and volumes for three-dimensional objects. And what I have for our strategy is called what we call an attribute chart. So an attribute chart, we're going to be actually looking at different pictures that hopefully will be in color, looking at these pictures and figure out which ones have the following attributes, which will help us memorize those important formulas for both surface area and also for volume. Our first object is our cone. So now look at the cone. Do we think it has two identical bases? So we would just write down, in this case, no. Does it have one base? And we put yes. The base of the cone is where you can put the ice cream. Does it have a lateral surface area? We're going to put yes. And do you have to divide by 3 to find the volume? And the answer would be yes. And are we going to be using pi? So that's going to be for our cone. Now we're going to look at our cylinder. Our cylinder could be something looking such a common object such as a Coca-Cola can or a can of tuna. Does it have two bases? Yes. Does it have one base? That's just one base. Has a lateral surface area. Well, in this case, it's just going to be the height. So it's not lateral in terms of it's at an angle. Do you have to divide by 3 to find the volume? The answer would be no. And does it have circles or uses pi? And the answer is yes. Now our next object is our sphere, which would be a basketball or even the globe of the world. Does it have two identical bases? The answer would be no. It has, as you know, has no base. That's why it always rolls down the hill. Does it have one base? No, either. Does it have a lateral surface area? Not really. And does it divide by 3 to find the volume? Yes. And does it use circles and pi? And the answer would be yes. Now our next object is our famous Rubik's Cube. Well, there's people who could solve Rubik's Cubes in 5 minutes. I'm not one of those people. So look at, does it have two identical bases? And the answer would be yes there. Does it have one base? No, just one base is not. Does it have a lateral surface area that's not different from the height? Then be no. Does it divide by 3 to find the volume? No. And does it use circles or pi? No. This is a very square, rockish subject. A rectangular prism is also very similar to a cube. It has two identical bases. Yes. The top and of the box and are exactly the same. Does it have just one unique base? The answer would be no. Does it have lateral surface area? No, it's the same thing as the height. Divide by 3 to find the volume? No. And do you use circles or pi? No, because it's also very cubic and rectangular. Now we look at our pyramid. It has identical bases. Just looking at it, we're going to say no. It has one unique base. It has a lateral surface area, which is different from the height, so that would be yes. Must divide by 3 to find the volume? Yes. And does it have circles or use pi at all? Since this is a cubed pyramid, we don't use any type of pi or anything like that. And then we have all the different types of prisms. We have a triangular prism or octagonal type prism. And do they have identical bases? We could see from the both diagrams that they both have exactly the same base. They don't just have one base. Do they have lateral surface area? In this case, they do, yes. And one must divide by 3 to find the volume. The answer is no. And do they have circles or volume? In this case, these are polygons, so no, they don't have using pi or circles. Now, when we look at it, we can see certain things look pretty familiar. For example, our cylinder and our prism are both going to be divided by 3. Our pyramid, our sphere, and our cone are divided by 3, even though, so these objects divided by 3 are similar, even though they're very different objects. They have some attributes in common. All their circular objects, whether it be our cylinder, our cone, or sphere, are going to be objects that we could group together. And another way to look at things that are more rectangular. So we got our cubes. We can sometimes we could say that a cylinder is just an extension of having a rectangular prism. So by having this type of attribute chart and actually having the objects for students to look at, they can actually get a better visual representation of the connection between objects and also how to get the formulas for finding the volume and surface area in geometry. So thank you very much for your time.